Hello, and welcome to the first official blog post of the year. Not the first episode of the podcast for the year, but my first big blog post. And I have yet another new mic. I like the other one, but I have something new, and when you get a new toy, you just have to play with it. So I'm trying it out, and any feedback on it would be appreciated, but I am going to be using it for other types of projects. And to start out our first blog post of the year, I have a bang. I have a zinger. I have something really good right off the gate. And what we have today is the Wet n Wild Mother Fluffer Pudding Blush. So reviews, swatches, all the shades, wear tests, all of the things. So I'm going to get right in with reading it and adding my color commentary as necessary. Although this one's pretty detailed, around 3,000 words. So I don't know how much commentary I'll have to add, but you never know what I will think of when I'm reading. So here we go. Wet n Wild Mother Fluffer Pudding Blush at a glance. The Wet n Wild Mother Fluffer Pudding Blush is a lightweight mousse cream to powder blush with a soft matte finish. It is available in 5 shades, priced at $6. The formula is cream to powder with a soft and blurring matte finish. The packaging is a frosted plastic pot with a twist-off lid. Availability, this is a little spotty, so it is in process of being rolled out, and we'll talk more about that when we actually hit the section on where to buy the products. I have all of the Wet n Wild Mother Fluffer Pudding Blush shades. I am doing a thorough review with swatches and a rating. I will help you find your best shades while figuring out the formula works for your skin type, starting with the details, the claims, the price. So the Wet n Wild Mother Fluffer Pudding Blush is a cream to powder blush with a whipped, cushiony texture, and it's designed to give a soft, diffused flush on the skin. And this is part of their 2026 new product releases. They have a lot coming out this year, and I'm doing it a little bit different. So if you're an OG blog fan, I am approaching the products differently this year in terms of giving them each their own blog post and giving them a chance to shine instead of putting them all into one. So we'll see how that goes. So as far as the claims are concerned, the brand describes this formula as having a cloud soft texture that should feel bouncy in the pan but blend easily across the cheeks. What word is that? Across the cheeks without dragging or streaking. So this is one of those formulas where you can stick your finger in the pot and you can kind of mush it all around, but then it goes like cream to powder on the face. So Wet n Wild says that this blush will deliver a soft focus, blurred matte finish that should smooth the look of your skin while keeping the color very natural and skin-like. They also have a weightless claim, and they're saying that you can build this formula from a sheer wash of color to a more intense flush without feeling heavy, thick, or cakey. So it comes in 5 shades, and it is priced $6 each. Each shade is packaged in a frosted plastic pot with a twist-off lid, and essentially you'll tap into it with your fingers or a brush. And we'll talk more about that as well. Summary. Bouncy pudding texture is meant to make blending foolproof. Soft focus matte finish is designed to blur texture, not emphasize it. Buildable formula means it works for both subtle and bold looks. Lightweight claim matters the most for oily and combo skin, which is my skin type. And the $6 price puts it far below most similar mousse blushes, which we'll also talk about coming up. So where to buy? Where the heck do you get this thing? I've seen people on Reddit for the past 2 months now being like, when's this thing coming out? When am I going to get this? Here is the tea. So the pudding blush is available from Walmart. I bought all of these online, If you go in store, you're going to find like 2 shades if you're lucky. And some people had displays that went up in like a Walgreens or a CVS like 2 months ago, and they're only getting 2 shades of blush, 2 shades of bronzer. So as of right now, you do have to go to Walmart. I'm just now seeing the products starting to hit Amazon, and Walgreens has like one blush online. So just give it some time. These products always hit all of the retailers eventually. And Wet n Wild has had a notice up on their website for a few weeks now saying that the 2026 products are coming soon. So they should. It's just early in the release. They haven't even, per usual, announced the existence of these products. But pricing is staying in the true drugstore range at $6, literally making it one of the most affordable putting blush formulas on the market. I have just jumped a mile because the door has flown open. The cat has pushed the door open very aggressively. He doesn't even know what he just did. That's okay. So, just to kind of like reiterate what I just said here, because this blush is part of that new launch that hasn't even been announced or acknowledged yet, the options to get it are slim. And when you do find it somewhere, oftentimes the shade availability is all over the place. So just expect it to come over time to mass retailers and be patient. And I had this thought, I guess this is where I'll add some of that commentary, pricing staying true to drugstore range. Drugstore makeup prices are up right now, and that's across all brands. If you start paying attention, you're going to realize a lot of this makeup is like $15, $18, or at least $10 and up, and that was never the case. We're getting into like Sephora territory with a lot of this drugstore makeup. And besides the fact that as time goes on, prices do rise, obviously they're being impacted by tariffs and whatnot. A lot of components and, formulas are made not in the United States. We have to make makeup in the countries that specialize in said formula. So, for example, any kind of baked makeup almost always comes from Italy because they are the experts in making baked cosmetics. So, a lot of these makeup companies basically lost their shirt on these tariffs, which is to be expected. But you know who I'm thinking of here? I'm thinking of e.l.f. So e.l.f. is one of the companies that is suing against the tariffs to try to recoup some of their losses, but their prices are insane in comparison to the type of company that they always were, right? They like to tout that 75% of their products are under $10. Okay, but they're not $3 or $4 anymore. So what I want to understand is Wet n Wild is making their stuff in China just like everybody else. How in the new year are they still keeping their prices where they are at and giving us an amazing quality product? They're not skimping on the product. They're not skimping on the packaging. So that tells me tariffs only play a part of it. I think companies like e.l.f. have totally changed course from where they're at, and it is just a money grab. They will keep hiking those prices up and seeing how far they can go, how much you're willing to pay. And I wouldn't be surprised, as I've heard at least one inkling of this, that they want to be one of the first drugstore brands that ends up being like a crossover between like drugstore and being in Sephora at the same time. So for them, I think they're playing a game, especially with taking on other companies like Rhode and Naturium, and I don't think they're genuine. I'm just taking a water break here, but besides the fact of how problematic they are, they really have just been having problem after problem, and I don't really foresee that being a brand that I'm going to be supporting much more with my platforms. So that's just what I wanted to say about pricing, and that's going to be a continued theme with this whole Wet n Wild train that we're going to be on. I mean, these products are, $4, $5, $6 a piece, and they're very good. That we're going to go over. But moving on to the ingredients list, I have it posted in the blog post. I'm not going to read this to you, but there are some ingredients to call out, and I'm just going to say I don't know how to pronounce all of these, and I am not going to embarrass myself. So I'm going to only read out loud the things that I know that I can say, and if you are really just hell-bent on knowing the ingredients, you can read them on the blog post or you can look up a product listing, whatever. So the pudding blush is using a silicone-based cream to powder formula, and it is built around dimethicone, which is a silicone, and cross polymers, and that's how it gets that smooth, bouncy, what we're calling a pudding texture with a soft focus finish. These ingredients are what help the blush to glide over your skin but get that blurred look but not become greasy or heavy over time. So the ingredients list includes some standouts like vitamin E and cocoa seed butter, and that's what keeps the blush from drying out on your skin, getting kind of maybe stiff isn't the best word, but it is based on silicones rather than oil, so it's able to stay lightweight and it's not going to slide around the skin, slide around oily skin especially, which is what happens with a lot of cream blushes, and that's why cream blushes have a tendency to fade after a few hours. Blush is notorious, right, for fading. And then other than that, the ingredients are going to have some iron oxides and lakes, and those are just used to give you your different shades, and then also contains some preservatives that keep the product shelf stable after opening it. So summary, the silicone-based formula gives it some slip, some blur, some grip. Vitamin E cocoa butter keep it from feeling dry. It sets without becoming greasy or shiny. It's designed to stay in place better than an oil-based blush. And that means it's really going to work for all skin types, dry, oily combo. Next is the swatches and the shades. So I do have in the blog post a swatch of all of these shades on fair skin, but we'll talk it out here. So Berry Chill is a deep berry rose color that has a cool undertone. It is very rich and saturated. Mauve Forever shows up as a muted, cool tone mauve with a soft brown pink base, and that's going to read more kind of understated but wearable. Pinkaboo is what you expect, a bright, true pink. It is fresh, lively, it stands out on the skin. Fresh, however they want you to pronounce this, Peony, is a soft rosy pink with a balanced undertone. So that's the lightest, most natural shade out of the bunch. It sits between a classic rose and a petal pink. And then you have, finally, Rose the Roof, and that pulls a little warm, a little peachy, giving you that sun-kissed, coral, touch of rose kind of effect. So you can see this in the swatches, but they all have even pigment. They're very velvety, but also like blurred and diffused. There's no streaks. The edges just kind of like blend softly into my skin. They look very diffused in the picture. So I also have pictures of each pot and pictures of myself wearing all of these colors on my cheek. So summary, 5 total shades that keep things kind of simple. In a way, it is limiting undertone variety. Berry Chill and Mauve Forever are suitable for mauve and deeper skin tones. Rose the Roof gives warmth and glow for most skin tones. Pinkaboo is the brightest and most playful option, and Fresh Peony is the softest and most subtle. So I know that I have fair skin, but I found a lot of interest in hearing about medium skin for this product, so I am speaking a bit to, if you have medium skin, what are going to be your best shades of this pudding blush? And that's going to be Berry Chill, Mauve Forever, and Rose the Roof. Now, I've worn all of them, and they all work because you can build them up, but, you know, if you're looking to only get a few colors and not all of them, I get it. That's all good. Berry Chill is going to have enough depth and contrast to pop beautifully on medium skin without giving you that dark, muddy appearance. Mauve Forever works very well as a natural, everyday kind of flush for medium skin because it's a muted mauve, but it's not gray. So it's not going to just disappear into the grand scheme of things on your face. Rose the Roof will give your medium skin like a warm, healthy kind of look because of that peachy undertone. And it's going to be especially flattering if your skin's a little bronzy or sun-touched, or you want that kind of sun-touched look. Pinkaboo could be worn on medium skin if you do want a more brighter, playful look, but I'd be worried it would look a little more neon and less natural on you. And Pressed Peony is softer, so you're going to have to build up that pigment more than, say, I would need to, so it doesn't just fade into everything you have going on the face. But if you're going to go after just one shade, probably just Berry Chill or Rose the Roof would be good for you and give you that color payoff. And now for my review. So I tried all of these shades with my finger, with a brush, on the lips, everything. So it definitely feels like a lightweight mousse cream. When you touch it, it's not stiff, it's not dry, it's not a powder. It's soft, it's whipped and cushiony. And as I already said, you can press your finger into that pot and mush it all around if you want. So it is a smaller pot. So if you are sitting there going, well, what kind of brush do I use with this? Most small stipple brushes on the market are going to be the right size to fit inside. Wet n Wild discontinued their stipple brush, but it fits. And I was looking at my collection for any other brush that I think would fit and do the job, but it's not discontinued. Unfortunately, that's going to be e.l.f. So either their small stipple brush or their putty blush brush would all work for you. Because I know maybe you want to be sanitary and you don't want to stick your fingers in the pot. I totally get it. But stipple brushes are really great with any kind of like cream, liquid, moussey products. Works great with this. So anyway, I was really surprised that they didn't release a brush of their own. Like, that's definitely a missed opportunity just to rake in that money. But Wet n Wild doesn't really do that stuff. They just never seem to come out with like a proprietary tool to apply one of their products. But their competitors definitely would. Like e.l.f. would never not give us a brush for something like this, right? So when you do go to put it on, it's a matte finish. They don't have any sparkles or anything. It is matte, but it's not flat. So it's very velvety. It gives you that soft focus look, kind of blurs, you know? It doesn't emphasize texture. Like, it's not sitting on top of your skin, right? It blends so easy. It's fast, it's clean. So even when you're applying it with a brush, it's not going to lift up your foundation or anything underneath. If you want to use a sponge, you can also do that. A sponge will give you an opportunity to shear it out if that's the kind of look that you're looking for. But you can build this up. If you want to do the visible blush, bam, in your face with this, you can do it absolutely. And it's not going to get thick or weird on you. So it does start out as a cream and it goes cream to powder. However, I want to emphasize it stays a little bit tacky. And I was originally thinking, well, my foundation is always a little bit tacky, like no matter what, maybe it's my foundation. But when I touch my cheeks and I touch an area of my face that only has foundation, it feels different. So this formula is not 100% drying down, but this slight tack is actually working in its favor. It's like it's gripping the skin, right? And it's staying there. So it's actually not fading. I wear my makeup for probably around, on average, 10 hours a day. And I am not able to see any change in the mirror. Like, the color looks the same to me. So this is definitely staying on better than other traditional cream blushes. And again, I think it's because it's a little bit sticky, but it's not greasy, right? And you can layer this product well over powdered skin. You can layer it over cream, liquid products, anything, and it works. I love versatile products like that because I never have to worry about making the wrong move, messing my makeup. And there's only so many products that I can think of that I can layer like powders and liquids and creams together and have it work. And this works. And in fact, one of my favorite blushes that does that is MAC. And guess what? This is not MAC price, okay? This is $6. So this is how I rated the performance for my wear tests. So blendability, 9.5 out of 10. Longevity, 9 out of 10. Oil control, 8.5 out of 10. And I can't fully test that one because my cheeks don't get oily, but I love to put a little bit of blush over the bridge of my nose, and my nose does get oily. And it's not gonna, it didn't control oil there, but it's not like the oils and the shine cause that blush to fade. It's crazy. Blendability 9 out of 10. Texture and comfort 9 out of 10. I even blended it out, just stuck my finger in the pot, blended it out with my finger. It all works. So a little bit does go a long way. Like, yes, the pigment is buildable, but you also shouldn't go in heavy handed. You know, do what you think is best, I guess. I will be publishing some videos if you want to watch how I do it. But with that being said, basically one tap into the pot. I'm going to get both cheeks done. It's $6. It lasts all day. It's insane. So let's compare that to some other ones that are on the market. I know what you're thinking. Maybelline. And I've never heard this brand announced or said out loud. Fwee. Fwee. That's who Wet n Wild is duping. I've not tried those, but I have a feeling this is basically doing the same thing for a much lower price. So if you want that blush that is easy, it's flattering, it's long wearing, it's foolproof, this one checks all of those boxes. It gives a soft, blurred look of a powder blush with a smooth blend of a cream, which makes it, as far as I am concerned, one of the best drugstore blush formulas right now. And if I were to update my blog post on the best Wet n Wild products of all time, I'd put that in there. But let's give you the whole quick overview, everything you need to know about this blush. So its texture is soft whipped pudding. I want to eat it, yes. Cream to powder. The finish is blurred matte, 5 shades at $6 roughly. It varies per retail. It'll be like $5.99, $5.49. You know how it is. It comes in a frosted plastic pot with a twist-off lid. It is best for obtaining a natural, flush, buildable color. It's going to wear all day on all skin types. It's long wearing. And blendability, blend it with whatever you want, okay? It's not officially labeled as non-comedogenic, and you can buy it from Walmart, Amazon, Walgreens, and probably Wet n Wild very soon, I am sure. So to summarize all of that, it blends easily without lifting your foundation. It sets into a soft matte finish that is gripping your skin. It does not get patchy or cakey. It wears closer to a powder than a cream, and it's going to last you basically for as long as you have your makeup on your face. So, I mentioned I tested this as lip color, and the reason why I did that is the other brands, Maybelline and Fwee, market it as for cheeks and lips, and Wet n Wild doesn't. So I said, let's try it, right? And that experience is different from using it on the face. So you should always exfoliate your lips and hydrate your lips before using a mattifying product. That applies to everything. But what I will say is that matte cream texture is going to emphasize the lines on your lips and any like imperfections you have going on, any dry spots, so on and so forth. And the color itself lasted. It didn't transfer much at all. The color is kind of hard, I guess, to see on my red straw, but it's not so much that you're losing the pigment while you're talking or drinking or whatever, but it just makes it look patchy because it's trying to emphasize any imperfections in your lips. And then what I noticed is as the day progresses, my lips, it didn't dry out my lips, but like the emphasizing of the dry areas became worse, and it just got patchier and patchier and clingier and just looking more textured, right? So is it going to work in a pinch to put some lip color on? Yes, but I'm just not going to reach for this as a lip color, and I can't be mad because they didn't make that claim. I just had to test it. So I want to use this as a blush, but in a broader sense, whenever a product says cheek or lip, I almost always love it for cheek and not for lip. You know, those two formulas really do need to be different because they do different things. So summary, color lasts with almost no transfer. It emphasizes lines and dryness over time, looks patchy and textured on the lips, requires exfoliation and lip balm to look decent, and is just better for cheeks. Okay. And some more notes just on wear testing and longevity. So obviously I tested this over a full face of makeup, skincare. It goes on very creamy and again sets to a tacky cream to powder finish. So it's going to help grip on the skin and it's not going to slide and fade. So after 4 hours of wear time, the color will still look fresh, not patchy. The soft matte finish will stay smooth. It won't turn shiny and it's not going to break up your foundation or mess with anything. After 8 hours, the blush is still very visible. The color might soften a little bit, but it's not going to disappear. That's not an unusual statement to make for a cream blush, especially at this price point. But it's not blotchy. It's not separating, right? And even on oily skin, it's going to last longer than you think because it's not going to get slippery. So if you have normal to dry skin, you're probably not worried about anything with this, right? And you don't need to set it with powder. If you have oily skin, you might want to just because that's slight tack. But again, I did not set this with powder and it doesn't go anywhere. You want that. You want some sort of extra longevity, I guess, powder it. So for longevity, it does perform more like a powder blush than a cream blush, but you're still going to get that smooth and skin-like look. So summary, it still looks smooth after 4 hours. The color remains visible after 8 hours. It doesn't break apart. It doesn't need powder to stay on your face. It behaves like a powder. If you want to apply this blush and get kind of more of a natural look, I would recommend, starting out with your normal base of your skincare, whatever makeup you like to do. I'd probably at that point just get one of the lighter shades like Fresh Peony and just tap it onto the apples of my cheeks. Or, for that matter, any blush shade from this lineup that mimics like your natural flush when you flush without makeup on, because that will also look very natural on you. And just pat that out or use the stipple brush and just use those pressing circular motions. And I had mentioned you could use a sponge and shear it out, and that's good to do as well for a natural look. Because again, this formula is buildable. So start out small and shear and build your way up to what you want. But it's really easy to create any kind of look that you want with this blush, okay? So I'll move you into the pros and cons. I did rate this 5 out of 5 stars. So the pros, it's soft pudding texture. It's easy to blend, so it gives you that smooth, blurred, matte finish. It is a long-wearing cream formula. It does not slide around on oily skin. It is buildable from sheer to bulb. It works well with your fingers, brushes, sponges. It's affordable and does not disturb your foundation. What are the cons? There's only 5 shades right now. Wet n Wild always tests the water with their releases, and I'm impressed we even got 5. It's usually more like 2 or 3. So I would also not be surprised throughout the year with their limited edition collections if they give us a couple more of these, and then a year from now they add 1 or 2 more to the permanent collection if it sells well, okay? So that also means limited undertone variety. Let's see how it sells. They don't make any claims about being non-comedogenic. A pot packaging can be less hygienic if you're going to be sticking your finger in it. It's not really flattering when worn on the lips, and softer shades, because of that limited shade range, could disappear into deeper skin tones. I do want to take a moment to talk about those other dupes. Again, I haven't tried Maybelline Cloudtopia. I haven't tried the Fwee pudding pots, but I understand that Wet n Wild is trying to dupe these. And they are, because it's the most affordable pudding pot type of blush on the market. $6, 5 shades, soft and buildable. Maybelline's going to run you $10, but they have a 10 shade range. They have some more options, more depth. And then with the Fwee pudding pots, those average like $15 to $16, but they have 32 shades. So you're going to get way more options and undertones, but you're going to pay for that, right? So Wet n Wild is your winner on price and simplicity. Maybelline's going to hit you kind of as that winner as shade but middle price. And then Fwee is going to give you the broadest options, but it's going to hit that wallet, okay? So if you're looking for dupes, you're all right with the punchy pigment, go with that budget option, girl. Go with the Mother Fluffer. And being that they do fall into the cream category of being like a small little potted blush, I'm going to give you another comparison Monday. Okay? Elf Putty Blush. It'll be coming. This is like the only time I can give you advice to go with the Mother Fluffer in life. Okay? So you better take it. It's a $6 risk. Other than that, avoid those Mother Fluffers. Okay? So summary. Wet n Wild is the cheapest pudding blush option. Maybelline will give you more shades, a little bit more shades, a little bit more price. Fwee, whatever the hell they're named, offers the widest range at the highest cost. Texture and blendability is what those brands are going for, all the same idea, right? So Wet n Wild, winner of value per dollar. And what are the other products in this brand new Mother Fluffer line? Not a whole lot, just bronzer. They have 5 bronzers as well. I'll be giving you a review of those next. It just makes sense to move from the blush to the bronzer, okay? But same kind of idea, a little teaser here. They're going with that pudding, that mousse to soft matte formula that's going to blend easily. I already tested all of them, okay? Weightless on the skin. That shade range, I have more to say. It's a little different when you're in the realm of bronzers and those warm tones, sun-kissed tones, okay? But these are blush and bronzers that are the same formula, so they're going to layer really nicely together, give you that cohesive look on the skin. You don't have to worry about pilling or patchiness, so they definitely go hand in hand. They're the main companions here, okay? So to summarize that, there are only 2 product lines right now, blush and bronzer. They both have the same formula texture. They're designed to layer together, and you'll get that whole kind of full complexion little look there with that one formula type. And it's all focused around simple, soft makeup. What is the expiration date after opening? Well, Wet n Wild didn't tell us. It doesn't have the little icon on the package, but most formulas that are cream moussey tell you 12 months. So that's probably a good rule of thumb here. But of course, anytime you have a product like this, it can dry out. They're brand new, so I don't yet know when mine's going to dry out. So just make sure that you keep that lid on tightly. Store it in a cool, dry place, of course. If your makeup brushes are wet, don't dip them in there. And if you notice any changes with texture, smell, things like that, it has probably gone bad and you should probably replace it. Okay? And we'll end with our frequently asked questions. What on earth is a pudding blush? Why do you keep saying pudding? And I'm getting hungry. Okay, you can go get your pudding when you're done listening to this. But I will explain. A pudding blush is a bouncy whipped mousse with a cream to powder feeling. And it's like that hybrid. Okay, that's the word there. The hybrid being cream and a powder. It starts out very soft and cushiony in the pan. You can feel it when you stick your fingers in there. And then it melts into your skin to give you that blurred, smooth look. How do you apply the Wet n Wild pudding blush? Well, tap it onto your cheeks with your fingers. Use a brush, like a small stipple brush, stick it up in that pot, okay? Or a sponge. I don't know about sticking the sponge in the pot. I don't know, that feels like extra unsanitary to me. I don't know. But you can always use a sponge with a brush to stipple it across the skin and blend it out how you want. Is it good for oily skin? Heck yeah, it's a matte product, okay? It blends out and gives you just that hint of tackiness. It's not moving around. It's gripping itself down. You don't have to powder it to stay in place. It holds its color. It doesn't separate. It does all the things, okay? It's doing the most. It's doing the work. So the results could always vary on oily skin, but I always got a long-lasting finish, okay? Is Wet n Wild a Mother Fluffer blush long-wearing? Yes. You're tired of me saying it, I know. The formula dries down. It lasts longer than most cream blushes. and it's not gonna fade, it's not gonna slide. Is it good for mature skin? I don't have mature skin, but I am thinking yes, because of it being soft focus, um, and that hybrid formula might make it less susceptible to settling into fine lines. It's usually a better idea if you have mature skin to go a bit matte, because a lot of the sparkles, the mica pigments that are in makeup end up settling into fine lines, and it kind of just overemphasizes them, like puts a big flashing sign on them essentially. So you're not going to get that. This isn't a glowy kind of product. Can you apply putting blush with a brush or your fingers? Yeah, you do whatever the heck you want. Okay? It all works. It's just very easy to work with this product. Is Wet n Wild Mother Fluffer Blush non-comedogenic? We don't know. They didn't say so. But the formula, I can tell you, is lightweight, non-greasy, so it's going to make it less likely to clog your pores. So I don't know what to tell you. If you're acne prone like me, although I don't tend to get acne on my cheeks, it's probably better to apply it over the rest of your makeup that you know isn't breaking you out than to just go in on the bare skin, or at least like patch test it, something, okay? So is it good for dry skin? I think so, because I don't have dry skin, but I don't see any evidence that the formula is changing over the day that would cause it to dry out or to emphasize a dry area. It just doesn't like dry lips, but your lips are also liney and moving and coming in contact with foods and beverages. It's just a whole different ball game, right? So I would expect it to be flattering on your dry skin type, but I really can't say for sure. Okay, so that's it. I am fairly certain that you will see me use these again anytime. If you follow me on social media and you see all my daily makeup looks, anytime I need something to last a very long time because I have other things going on in the day or special occasion, I'm certain I'm going to go back and grab these because I know they are lockedon.com, okay? So that's what I want. And really, I'm not disappointed by the shade range. I think Fresh Feeny is my least favorite because it's such a light color. It's fair skin friendly, but I like that bam pop of blush. But these are all very wearable and not avoidable in my opinion. So I don't think you can go wrong, but I'll never tell you to go out and buy every single item because I think that is crazy and unrealistic. I just do that to be the guinea pig for you, okay? So let me know. Are you going to try it? What's your favorite shade? What do you think? What about the microphone? All of the things. And that's it. I'll see you next time.